What's up, guys? It's Lord Both here for another video, and PlayStation released their top downloaded games of April 2025. And you want to take a guess. What company had the majority of games downloaded onto PlayStation? This comes to us from PlayStation blog, and it's entitled PlayStation Store, April 2025's top downloads. It has it broken up by US, Canada, and the EU. And let's just go down the list here. In the US and Canada, Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remaster. I think we all know who makes that. Minecraft, which is, again, Microsoft. Forza Horizon 5. MLB The Show. Hey, there's a PlayStation game. Until you realize, guess what? MLB The Show is also available on Xbox right there. You can play it on Xbox as well. Claire Obscure Expedition 33. I mean, that game is available everywhere. Black Ops 6. I mean, yeah. Grand Theft Auto 5. I mean, there's a lot of hype around Grand Theft Auto already. So yeah, that makes sense. Plus, Grand Theft Auto 5 probably been on this list a lot. But yeah, almost every single game on this list, both in the US, Canada, and EU, the vast majority of them are Microsoft games, Xbox games. Which, by the way, all this is overshadowing the fact that at the bottom here in the EU, Mortal Kombat 11 is outselling Mortal Kombat 1. That's how terrible the state of Mortal Kombat 1 is. That the game that came out before it is doing better in terms of downloads and sales than the newest version of the gaming franchise. That's how terrible Mortal Kombat 1 is. Now, when it comes to the console wars, Sony ponies are going to see this list and say, well, yeah, they're most downloaded on PlayStation. We have the best console. Everybody wants to play those Xbox games on our superior console. Xbox is so dead, they have to come and put their games on our console just to try to make some kind of dollar. While Xbox fans are going to come out and say, PlayStation has so few games that they need our games, our Microsoft Xbox games, to have content on their console so people can actually play games. Because PlayStation has so few games, and the games that they do have are basically interactive movies that are more walking simulators with cutscenes rather than games. And if you want to look at it from that perspective, you gotta say, PlayStation is probably putting out better movies for Sony than Sony Pictures is putting out. Because yeah, I saw the Spider-Man villain universe from Sony Pictures. Those were some pretty terrible movies. The truth is that whether you're Xbox side or PlayStation side, it doesn't really matter at this point anymore. The two sides have fused into one, like doing the Dragon Ball fusion dance of non-PC gaming douchebaggery, where yes, PlayStation doesn't have games and relies on Xbox to actually create all that content so they can put that on for them. But Xbox also relies on PlayStation to put their games out and make money off of them. It's a symbiotic relationship at this point. And the only people laughing are PC players who have access to everything and better versions of everything depending on the money that they want to spend. And with console price hikes, owning a console or buying a console isn't really that much cheaper than buying a low-end gaming PC at this point. Consoles were supposed to be affordable intro market level places for people who wanted to get into gaming. So parents didn't have to break the bank getting a gaming PC for their kids. They had a little system they could set up in the living room. Kids could play their video games on it. But no more. Now they're being considered luxury items. All this while those companies who are selling the consoles are burning money on projects that they have absolutely no idea what they're doing with. I mean, take this headline right here from PC Gamer. Just months after reportedly canceling 2 live service games in development, Sony announces a new PlayStation studio with a live service game in development. I'm absolutely taking crazy pills here. Why? Why are studios so obsessed with trying to farm customers for low-level cash continuously through live service games when they could just put out hit big games at low-level costs that are one-offs that can be done over and over again and give you endless amounts of possible sequels, something like Expedition 33. But no, apparently they want to go with this kind of market, something that people are already burnt out on. But the article states just a few months after reportedly canceling 2 unannounced live service games in the wake of the Concord catastrophe, Concord, which has been labeled synonymous with just gigantic fiasco failure. I mean, literally, it is a moniker now of how bad your game does, saying it is a Concord level failure. Sony has unveiled a brand new internal studio called Team LFG. Wow, that's just... it's so lame and cringe. I don't know. I don't even know what to say to that. But Team LFG, and yup, it's making a live service game. Team LFG originated at Bungie. There's some good news, but has also rallied developers from across the industry to bring to life an ambitious incubation project that I'm very excited about. That's Sony's Herman Hulst that said that. He also states that the studio is now fully formed and ready to be introduced to the world. This also kind of tells me that they don't have the biggest faith in Marathon. Because if they had the biggest faith in Marathon, they wouldn't want any kind of studio originating from Bungie. They would want to keep people from Bungie in Bungie. Because, they're putting out a really good product. But I think that everybody knows Marathon looks bad. It's gonna be bad. It's not going to sell well. And they're doing the Ubisoft trick, moving developers from one studio to another studio, even though those developers just put out something that was a massive failure or going to be terrible, and try not to have layoffs because layoffs look really bad, especially to the shareholders. The studio isn't being headed up by any big names. Okay. Or at least none were mentioned in the reveal, but its developers include industry veterans who have worked on games including Destiny, Halo, League of Legends, Fortnite, Roblox, and Rec Room, as well as newcomers with fresh creative perspectives and skills. What exactly they're getting up to also hasn't been revealed, but there's clearly going to be a strong social element to it. That whole nothing burger of a paragraph basically said, Sony has created a new studio. We don't really know who's head of it or anyone really well known that's in it. There's a lot of people who have been in the industry for a while and a lot of people who haven't done anything in the industry at all at this new studio. And they are working on a live service game that we don't know anything about that will come out at some point in the future. It told us absolutely nothing. Just this whole thing is just a terrible idea. It will waste more cash for Sony and PlayStation, and we're going to end up with more canceled games on our hands that nobody would have wanted to play in the first place. From a studio made up of people whose entire library of games they've worked on are either games that were started and developed by people that were more talented than them, that they then drove into the ground, or a graveyard of broken, forgotten ideas that were thrown into the trash because they were so bad and Sony didn't think anybody would want them. And they're doing all this. PlayStation is doing all this while raising prices on their consoles and their games and pretty much everything, just because they can use the excuse that Nintendo did it first. And don't think Xbox is absolved from this. They're doing the same exact thing, almost worse even, because they have inferior tech, older model stuff too, and they're raising their prices even higher than what PlayStation is doing. All of it is stupid. All of it is bad for a consumer. And again, whether you're Xbox guy or an PlayStation guy, what you gotta realize is that the console war was dead for a reason. Because we all knew these two companies really just working together to fleece us for as much money as possible. And they're still doing that. It's just that they've gotten a little bit better at tribalizing all of us back into those two groups of Xbox or PlayStation. When the reality is, again, they're still the same team, making all of their cash from us in a symbiotic relationship that is increasingly painful to everybody's wallet. But those are just my thoughts on all this. If you have your own thoughts, go ahead and leave them in the comments. If you like this video, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't like this video, appreciate you watching all of it, and we'll talk to you again later.